Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1990's Represent. We're starting over again, so we're back at the top of the decade, starting in with our third cycle in 1990, doing that with an album. And this episode, we're talking about Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em by MC Hammer. Definitely a kind of very early 90s hip hop album. Kind of set the tone for a lot of the kind of more maybe family friendly, if you want to call it that, hip hop of the time. Like he basically had a very kind of clean image. Wasn't really. I mean, he does mention like a gat at one point in one song, but like compared to like like let's say artists like like NWA and stuff like that, a very clean image. He kind of got some criticism for that when this album came out. This is actually his third album. He put out a couple albums prior to this. I definitely think he kind of peaked around this time, maybe like 1992 at the latest, maybe 1991. I'm probably gonna say he probably peaked closer to 1991 with like Too Legit to Quit. But Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em is definitely the album that kind of put him on the map and kind of made him basically kind of like really explode onto the scene in the early 90s. I remember, I think it was in fourth grade. This would have been a year after this album came out. I think probably still before Too Legit to Quit came out, because it would have been like that school year would have been 1991. So this is maybe like early 1991. I think there was like a school play or something, and like our class, basically the classes that were in it, they would go on stage, do their thing, go back to the classroom and kind of wait for the thing to be over. And I think between acts or whatever was going on, we were playing, like we had like a tape player in there and playing this album quite a bit and dancing to it. Just a really good kind of memory from the early 90s from school there. But have some notes here about it. We're going to get through those, and then we're going to like discuss the album, discuss the track list and all that kind of stuff here. So here we are. So let's see here. Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em. First released February 12th, 1990. Third studio album from MC Hammer. Apparently the budget for this album was really low, like a $10,000 budget. And they recorded it on, I think, like a tour bus, a lot of it. So just think about like only spending $10,000 on this and having it whatever like sales figures it got to, like that's definitely, they made back their investment like in a big way there. So $10,000 budget. Let's see here. Little note here about the first MC Hammer album tape that I had. It wasn't this one. It was the I think the very first cassette I was given when I got, like, I think for like Christmas one year I got like a Walkman, like a tape Walkman. And the first MC Hammer I had was Let's Get It Started, which is actually I think his second album from 1988. But that was pretty good. This one here, Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em, the better one. Probably his best overall. I would maybe say then like Too Legit to Quit, like coming after that. At least from those like initial kind of like early days of his career there. This is interestingly enough the first hip hop album to be nominated for Record of the Year at the Grammys. So in 1991 Grammys, it was nominated for Record of the Year. First hip hop album to be nominated in such a way. And this is where the Grammys and some of these award shows get kind of weird. So it won for Best Rap Solo Performance for You Can't Touch This. But then it also won for Best R&B Song for the same song. So it was weird. I think like definitely like in the early 90s, I think like rap and like there was definitely like rap and R&B were kind of considered to be the same thing, even though they're very different, similar in some ways, but very different in many other ways. But so he won Best Rap Solo Performance and Best R&B Song at the 1991 Grammys. And then for the 1991 AMAs, the American Music Awards, won five albums for this album, or not five albums, 5 awards for this album at that particular show. And those were favorite soul / R&B artist. Kind of weird there because it's not really soul or R&B. Like there's maybe some elements of R&B and soul in the album like somewhere, but I think overall it's a hip hop / rap album. so that's weird. Let's see, R&B album, again, not an R&B album, R&B song, and then rap artist and rap album. So he basically like won as a rap artist and an R&B artist for like the same album and same songs. It was just and that's nothing against him. This is just a very weird kind of time in like the way like music awards were, where there's a lot of overlap and not really a lot of like distinction between genres, at least like kind of like in this particular sphere of like rap and hip hop and R&B, like how it's this weird like I could understand him winning like R&B artist, but then also winning but not winning rap artist if they wanted to give the award to somebody else, but he won that one too. So that's just kind of like a weird thing here. There were some lawsuits filed for against the album and MC Hammer. Probably most notably is the one from Rick James, because he basically borrows a large chunk of Super Freak for You Can't Touch This. I think they initially settled it out of court, and then MC Hammer just kind of credited him as a writer, and that basically just cut him in on like a ton of royalties, because especially like during this time period, this song was or You Can't Touch This was everywhere. So whenever that song got played, like Rick James is also like was getting money for it. But there's a lot of samples that were used. Let me actually bring up the sample list, because there's quite a few samples that were used in the albums here. So I'm just going to read off this list of samples. So Work This has a sample of Less Work by Prince. Help the Children has Help the Children has a sample from Mercy Mercy Me, The Ecology by Marvin Gaye. Here Comes the Hammer is a James Brown Superbad sample. Pray has two samples from When the Doves Cry by Prince, and We Care a Lot by Faith No More. You Can't Touch This, of course, Super Freak by Rick James. Let's see, Yo Sweetness has another Rick James sample from Give It To Me Baby, and Your Sweetness Is My Weakness by Barry White. She's Soft and Wet by Prince is a sample there. Black is Black has a sample of Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud by James Brown. And I think there was one more lawsuit that I forgot to mention. It was from so Here Comes the Hammer had a Christian recording artist named Kevin Abdullah had also sued Hammer for like various like copyright infringement and stuff like that. But one of the criticisms of the album was that he was too reliant, or Hammer is too reliant on the hooks in the song, like the choruses being based around the choruses for pre-existing songs, and also just kind of like some of the heavy sample use. He was kind of criticized for that. It was criticized for like his clean kind of image, like I mentioned earlier. What else do we have here? The reviews of this album were not great at first. I think a lot of people kind of now look on it kind of fondly, but it definitely did not get great reviews, at least at first. Let me pull up the reviews here. So I'm just going to do this. So AllMusic has it at a 3 out of 5. Entertainment Weekly gave it an A-. Los Angeles Times looks like it's a 1.5 out of 1.5, I think it is. 1.5 out of 5. Rap Reviews just gave it a 5 out of 10. Rolling Stone has it at a 2 out of 5. Rolling Stone Album Guide has it at a 3 out of 5. And Village Voice has it at a C+. So kind of middling overall on the reviews. But I definitely feel like the album kind of now, people look back on it kind of fondly, because it is just a fun rap album. I think there's only one like lyric I mentioned earlier where he talks about like grabbing his gat. I don't remember exactly like what song it was, but that's the only lyric I can think of where it kind of crosses over into like more mature kind of like content there. But we're now going to move into our track list. Let me pull that up. And the length of the album first. Let's go here. So the album is 59 minutes and 4 seconds, so a little under an hour. And then we are looking at 13 tracks. So track 1 is Here Comes the Hammer. Track 2 is You Can't Touch This. Probably his most iconic, I would venture to say, most iconic song there. I would say probably Too Legit to Quit might be like his next most well known. But again, track two is You Can't Touch This. Track three is Have You Seen Her? Let's see, yeah, track three. Track four is Yo Sweetness. Track five is Help the Children. Track six is On Your Face, which is an Earth, Wind, and Fire cover. Track 7 is Dancing Machine, a Jackson 5 cover. Track 8 is Pray. Track 9 is Crime Story. I think Crime Story is the one where he's talking about the guy, because that seems like... I listened to this recently, and I believe that's it. Because I think, like, they're like, it's a crime story. Let me see. MC Hammer. Because it's like I'm talking about a crime story. Let me just see... Yeah, so in Crime Story, the lyric is, I reached for my gat, it was too late, the knives went point blank, rage in my face. So, yeah, so that is Crime Story. Again, Crime Story being track 9. Track 10 is She's Soft and Wet. Track 11 is Black is Black. Track 12 is Let's Go Deeper. And track 13 is Work This. So, again, 13 tracks, like 59 minutes in length there. A very solid, just good time of a rap album. It's not like overly long. Like it's a little less than an hour. A lot of other rap albums I remember listening to recently, not even before this series, are definitely like over an hour, like hour 15 minutes, hour 20 minutes, stuff like that. But I definitely like when they kind of keep it to like under an hour. Like there's no real skits. A lot of the like rap albums like will have kind of various interludes that sometimes like they work, sometimes they just pad the album out. I don't think there's any of those on this album here. But just a good album, a good way to kind of kick off our third cycle of 1990 and basically the third cycle of the decade as a whole. So we'll be doing obviously more episodes of 1990, but we're going to be working all the way back up through the decade again, all the way up to 1999, and then again starting over. I don't really think this series has like an end point. Like I think with the 1998 series, I got to enough content that I was able to just, I kind of planned that out to do it for a year and then transition it to this. But there's just so much more content coming out. I think this one might go on indefinitely, which I'm very much looking forward to because the 1990s are just on point. Also, speaking of MC Hammer, I'm going to leave a link in the description. It's not related to this video necessarily, or even this year, but I think it's a 1991 commercial for Taco Bell, and it's just very peak 90s. It's MC Hammer trying to go to a Taco Bell, and they're trying to sneak past a bunch of fans. And it's the iconic commercial where they jump off the roof, and their parachute pants are just inflate, and they float down, and they walk into Taco Bell. Kind of just give away the whole video, but it's definitely worth checking out. I'll leave a link in the description just because when I was doing this episode, I vividly remember seeing that commercial back in like 1991. But that's going to do it for this video. We'll be back again in a few days. We'll be doing a movie from this year. From 1990. Don't know what that's going to be yet. And then we'll be back after that with a video or computer game. So again, that's going to do it for now. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.